As a teenager and a young adult, you're expected to know where your life is going. You're supposed to know what you're going to do, who you're going to be, and when you're going to get there. When you take all of this and pile it on top of each other, it leads to a beginning life crisis. You don't know who you want to be, you don't know when you're going to get there, and you don't even know how to do it. There's such high expectations for you and such low chances. And I'm in your boat. Trust me, I'm still there. I've been asked that same question that everybody dreads to hear. So what do you want to do with your life? And then you sit there, you think about it. You might not know exactly what you want to do, and you might not even be moving towards it yet. It's such a big question here at such a young age. You've had so little options to explore different aspects of life. Think about it. If you go to the standard American school path, elementary, middle, high school, college, you've had 16 years to learn a couple subjects, and most of that time is spent learning the basics. You don't really get to dive into interesting topics, interesting ideas that you might actually want to pursue for the rest of your life. It's kind of expected just for you, once you pass senior year of high school, to just know what you want to do. And then if you decide to change it up because you genuinely didn't find it interesting and it's not something you want to do, it's frowned upon because now you're paying more money to go to school. You seem like somebody that's indecisive, somebody that doesn't know what's going on. But in reality, you don't. Nobody does. I call this the beginning life crisis because you're still in the beginning of your life. When you think about it, the first, let's say, 4 years of your life don't count because that's you just learning to be a human. The next 8 to 12 years are you just growing and becoming a full functioning human being, learning English, learning math, learning basic human skills, social skills. And then once that hits, it's like, boom, where are you going with the rest of your life? The weight of this question isn't something that should be joked about. What do you want to be in your life is loaded. Does this mean you want to be a philanthropist? You want to be a businessman, a firefighter, an astronaut? What does it want? What do they want you to be? The worst part about it is if you say the wrong thing, you're looked down on. If you tell somebody that you want to be a professional streamer and gamer, just talking and being an entertainer, people are like, that's not a real career. What do you actually want to be? But then if you tell somebody you want to be a doctor and you don't reach it, then you just look like you're a failure because you've never reached your true goal or a high profession. But for some reason, when you talk about a midlife crisis, somebody that's in their 40s to 50s thinking like, wow, what do I want to do? Where do I go with my life? Like, how do you change it? It's somewhat more accepted. It's like, oh, you've already lived your life. You might be having a change in life thought and aspect and feel, and it's accepted when you've already had experience. Then why isn't it accepted when you haven't had experience? If you haven't had the chance to learn, to grow, to explore different options, why are you expected and put on such high flame and regard that if you don't know what you're doing, you're kind of deemed like a failure? And I know most people, if not everybody watching this video, has experienced this. Being there, sitting there, thinking about where you're going to go with your life, what actions you're going to take, what are you going to do, what steps, are people going to judge you, what are you going to do to kind of overcome that judgment and overcome that question and uncertainty. And the reality of it is nobody can decide your path besides you, and whatever other people judge about you doesn't matter. If you decide to be a musician and you want to pursue music as your full lifetime passion and something that you want to stick with for the rest of your life, okay, do it. The real concern is making sure that you get it done and follow it and get somewhere that you are providing value and you're somewhere that you are comfortable with yourself in doing it. The opinions of other people around you should not be something that sway you to change how you do. Everybody talks about becoming realistic, get realistic. What do you want to do? You ask people, what do you want to do? They say something that seems a little outlandish. You're like, be realistic. What do you want to do? And I believe personally that this saying is the killer of dreams. It's the killer of people reaching new potential, reaching higher standards, new goals, new heights, things that they never knew or may never know that they can do. If you succumb to everything that everybody says about what you should do, how you should do it, and how you should go about living your life, you'll never be living your own life. And you'll be always in a constant loop of supporting and growing and anticipating what you do next. You're not going to be deciding what to do next. You're going to be told, and then you're going to take that and you're going to go with it. Life will begin to feel like it's a test. Kanye West once said, if you're always trying to say the right thing, you're not really living life. Your life is a test. And that has a lot of truth to it. If you try to say the right thing, do the right thing, make sure that you're pleasing everybody, you're not acting on your true life basis and your true life accomplishment and goal and anticipation of what you want to be. You're more responding to make things get the right answer from others. If you take a test, you're not doing what you think is the right path and the right way. You're doing it so that they understand what you're doing and they give you the credit for that. So then, how do you go about this? What do you do with your life? How do you decide what to do next? Decide what your next step is, the next goal, the next accomplishment that you're going to achieve. The answer to that is you take some time. You got to realize that you need to think about who you are, your values, your background, things that matter to you, things that you anticipate. Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to see yourself in? And you have to take that information and accept it, take it, process it, think about it, and then you develop your next steps. In my example, I see myself as a teacher, not like a teacher that you would think of in a classroom teaching students different subjects like that. I see myself as a teacher of my life experiences. I don't think I have a lot more experiences or a lot, crazier experiences than some people, but I have learned things. I have appreciated what I've learned, and I want to be able to give that back to others who are going to and potentially might face the same issues, and then let them think about it. I understand the position of being uncertain with what you want to do, kind of living in a cloud, a haze, being there, sitting there, being like nobody, not like anything that matters. It's kind of like a fog that you do want to get out of, but you also don't, because it kind of blocks you from reality. You don't want to wake up to the reality of having to do something with your life, become someone greater, be somebody. But you also want to get out of that because you're in a fog where you can't see much further. I had a fog where I wasn't doing anything with my life. I didn't see a little path or where my future was heading. So I needed to get out of the fog, wake up, and realize, what do I care about? What is my true ambition? What is my true goal? Where am I heading to? And what do I have to do to get there? The moment I realized this, I became much more clear on the things that I want to do and the things that I will do without listening to what other people think about it. Starting this YouTube channel was more of a thing to test myself and make sure that I am accountable for what I do, the things that I believe in and my true values. And I received backlash. I wouldn't say backlash because that seems negative, but I received comments saying that what I'm doing with this doesn't make sense. It's not worth it. It's just a dream. It's not be realistic. And that made me wake up and realize it's like, if I have a clear vision and a clear path of where I'm heading and what I want to do with my life, and it's a positive one, I would say the things I'm doing for this channel are positive. And if other people are judging me and not appreciative, they just kind of want me to lower my level and lower my standards of who I am as a person and get to a lower operating, frequency. That's a great word for it. I want to see myself at a higher frequency. I want to see myself doing things, reaching goals, accomplishing tasks, setting, ambitious projects for myself to work on, because that's who I want to be. That's what I want to do. I want to achieve great things so that I know, but so that I have a meaningful purpose and value-driven action that I'm following. Part about all of this is that in the beginning of your life, your teenage to young adult life, you may not know what it is that you're trying to follow. Some people may seem like they know what they're trying to follow, but in reality, they're lost. And some people may actually know what they're trying to follow. But that doesn't matter. Everybody's story and everybody's path is a little different. The important thing is that you figure out what your path is. Don't skew your path in what you think because of what somebody else said, because in reality, that other person is not living your life. You're two different people with two different minds. You may never know when, and you may never know how you'll reach your decision and your final anticipation of what you want to do. But the important part is that you work towards it. You think about who you are as a person, and you don't lose your values. You stick to your beliefs, you stick to who you want to be, and you stick to what matters to you. Because that way, you'll find something that you truly want to pursue and be somebody that you truly want to be.